Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Real Sports Updates here. Back again with another video. So let's jump right into this. So, as everything stands right now, I know the one for sure cut that is going to be made, running back Larry Rountree. And this is not surprising. It's not surprising news to anybody. But the way it came about is a little surprising to me. I can't lie. So I wanted to get into that and cover that a little bit. So, the way things have been going in camp, Josh Kelly has really impressed the coaching staff. He's really impressed Brandon Staley, and he's really impressed the offensive coaching staff. Now, Brandon Staley, in his presser 2 days ago, he really heaped a lot of praise on Josh Kelly, talking about how, focused he is, how locked in he is. He made comments about him being in the best shape of his life, different things like that. And, from all of the reports and things that I've been reading, everything that I've gathered, Josh Kelly is having a good camp. That's good for him. Now, I obviously am not sold on it. I know a lot of Charger fans are not sold on it. Just looking at the discourse online on all of the different social media sites, a lot of Charger fans are not really buying it. And I'm in there with him, right? We've seen Josh Kelly for the past 2 years. I made the video on him last week. We've seen what he's done for the past 2 years, right? And it hasn't been much. Again, his best game in the NFL was his first game in the NFL. And since then, it has, pretty much been downhill. I'm not a guy, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know more than the coaching staff. I'm not going to sit here and say that I know more than Brandon Staley. I'm not a jackass in that way. So I can only go off of what I hear, right? So I hear Brandon Staley heaping praise on this guy. He says that he is looking good. So I'm going to take him at his word for it. But I still, personally, I'm just not sold. I need to see everything that he's talking about. I need to see it all happen on Sundays. And I think that's the thing. He had a pretty good training camp, I believe, his rookie year. And, a lot of people were talking about how underrated he was and how he was going to be, the fantasy darling of the 2020 season when he first got drafted. I still remember all those conversations, and he came out and he disappointed. Again, his best game in the league was his first game, and after that, everything was downhill. The yards per carry were very low. The vision was not good. The explosiveness wasn't there. So if anything has changed, we will be able to see on Sundays. And if he's going to get any reps in this preseason game on Saturday, then we'll be able to see if there is a difference in Josh Kelly. Like I said, I take Brandon Staley at his word, but I'm not sold until I see it actually out on the field, until I see it in games. That's where I'm at with the Josh Kelly thing. Now, obviously, this affects Larry Rountree. I haven't really heard anything positive about Larry Rountree. There was a couple of pieces that mentioned him. But it mentioned that he was struggling a little bit, I guess, when camp first started. We're 2 weeks into camp now, so I'm not sure how he's come along. Maybe if he's just treading water, but I haven't really heard a lot of superlatives about Larry Rountree. Now, this is obviously going to affect him because this is going to make Larry Rountree the odd man out, so to speak, right? He's going to be the fourth guy, the fourth running back. Most teams usually carry, 3 running backs. I think the Chargers are going to carry 3 running backs and a fullback probably. Either Xander Horvath or Gabe Neighbors. But this puts Larry Rountree on the outs. And again, I'm not surprised by it. It's very interesting because Josh Kelly was not a Brandon Staley draft pick. Josh Kelly was a draft pick of Anthony Lynn when Anthony Lynn was still the coach of the Chargers. So this is interesting to me. The positive that I see in this, though, is that Brandon Staley is a guy who is going to play things straight up, right? This is a meritocracy, right? You have to have merit, along with the things that, you do on the field, right? You have to be able to come out and prove every single day that you belong there. If you have a starting position in the NFL, you got to come out and prove it every single day, right? From Sunday to Sunday, from, all of the practices, during the week, you have to pretty much reprove yourself every day. You have to be that guy every single day if you want to keep your spot, if you want to keep your roster spot, whatever it is. So this is a positive because Brandon Staley is playing this straight up because he could easily, favor Larry Rountree. He was a Brandon Staley draft pick when Brandon Staley was took over for Anthony Lynn after he got fired. So he could be looking at Larry Roundtree, with the rose-colored glasses on, but it appears that he's not. Right? He is more impressed by Josh Kelly because Josh Kelly has obviously had the better performance, so far in training camp. Now, I think the only thing that can really save this, right? The only thing that can really, change things right now is the preseason games. If Larry Roundtree balls out in the preseason games, if he shows explosiveness, if he shows decisiveness, as far as picking which hole he's gonna run through, not dancing around, if he shows that he can catch the ball out of the backfield, if he does all of the things that we expected of him last year, then maybe this is a harder decision. But the way things are going right now, Josh Kelly looks like he's going to wrap up that third running back position. Now, Isaiah Spiller is starting to come along. I think he started camp off a little slow, but he's starting to come along. There's been a lot of talk about how he is very skilled at receiving the ball in the backfield, and he is really good after catch as well, too. So, breaking tackles, just being able to finish runs, being able to finish, receptions out of the backfield as well, too. So I've been hearing a lot of good things about Isaiah Spiller. I think he's going to lock up that number 2. It's not official yet, but Josh Kelly has not shown that he can catch the ball out of the backfield. I think that's the one thing, if anybody can, hype Josh Kelly up and talk about how great he is and how great he's been during camp and all of this stuff. The one thing that he does not do well is catch the ball out of the backfield. He's just not that great of a receiver. He's a guy you hand the ball, you put the ball in his stomach, let him run for tough yards, but he's not that great of a receiver. Isaiah Spiller brings that extra aspect to the Chargers, and I think he's going to lock up that number 2 position. But it looks like Josh Kelly's going to get that number 3 position. This running back battle was it was highly touted coming into camp, and I don't know. I'm not that surprised, but I kind of am surprised a little bit. I just think that, again, I did the video on Josh Kelly. I'm not sold on him completely. Can he change our minds if he comes out and balls in the preseason? Yes, he can. Can Larry Roundtree, make this a harder decision, with good performances in the preseason? Yes, he can. So none of this stuff isn't written in stone yet, but this is going to be interesting going forward. It's going to be interesting to see as well. I think, may the best man win, pretty much. That's really the only thoughts that I have about this right now. Just from gathering everything that I've gathered, it's been interesting. This running back battle has been interesting. I just hope that there is not a big drop-off like there was last year, because if there is, then it's going to be a problem for the offense. When Austin Eckler was out, the production dropped off drastically, rushing and receiving. So, to me, it really doesn't matter who is in there. I just want guys who are going to be assets to the team, and I just don't want the big drop-off. I don't think the Chargers can afford a big drop-off. If, the Chargers are going to compete this year, if they're going to win playoff games, you cannot have a big drop-off from Austin Eckler to Isaiah Spiller to possibly Josh Kelly or anybody else. So that's where I'm at with this running back position. May the best man win. And, if Josh Kelly is balling, if he has put in the work and if he has made the commitment to get better, then credit to him. And I'm glad that he is taking it seriously and not, resting on his laurels or anything like that. So I'm happy there, but we will see. We'll see. This is not going to be over now. This is not going to be decided after 2 weeks of camp. We're going to have to get through all of these practices. We're going to have to get through the 3 preseason games, and we're going to have to see how this looks on the field, because that's really all that matters. That's all it boils down to. There have been good practice players in the history of the NFL, and there have been guys who don't necessarily practice well or care about it too much, but they go out and ball. So I don't know. I don't know which one Josh Kelly falls into or Larry Roundtree, but I just hope that, both of these guys, they show it on the field. They give us some good preseason reps, and, Staley and Telesco will have to make a decision from there. But as of right now, the way that it looks, I think Larry Roundtree is the odd man out. So, hey, it is what it is. This is a tough business, right? It is a, game of inches, as they say. So, he could be the 54th man on the 53-man roster. But we'll see. There's still some time left. So, pretty much all I got for this one, guys. I will be back tomorrow with more content. going to be getting into the 7-on-7 stuff. Excuse me, not the 7-on-7. Why did I say 7-on-7? I mean the intra squad scrimmage. I want to get into that. There's 7 takeaways from the intra squad scrimmage. That's probably what I was thinking of. So kind of got confused there, but I will get into that and anything else that I can read and come up with a topic for. So I will be back with much more content. Thank you guys for the support, the likes, the comments, all the views. Really appreciate it. And I will be back tomorrow. So until next time, I will see you guys later.